Hey, welcome back. Okay, so I finally found it. It's on page 9 of the Solitaire book. It's this black text right here. When moving or pivoting, an AI should always end up facing a hex site that includes in its arc of fire these three things: the enemy unit closest to it, then its mission objective, then the most enemy units. Okay, so arc of fire, just as a reminder, this unit has an arc of fire of these three hexes in front of it, and then of course everything in its path, right? And then the three hexes behind it are flank. So arc of fire is the three in front of it. So the closest unit, of course, is this Soviet unit. So Soviet unit needs to be in its arc of fire, but it could just as easily be this way and still be in its arc of fire, or it could even be this way and still be in its arc of fire. So that's the there's all three directions would still qualify. The other thing is this one is also in its line of sight, even though it's very far away. There is a possibility we could argue that this building's in the way. But what I would say is that rules out this direction, right? He wouldn't want to be this direction because this is now in the flank. So without getting out a ruler to see if this thing is actually in the way from there to there, I'm going to argue that this is the best answer, because even if this unit was in line of sight, it would be still unable to flank unless it went all the way around behind. So we could argue that maybe it should be this way, right? Because that's still within its target, and so is that. But I don't like it because then it's possible, I think it's easier for this one to be able to flank. So we're going to just face the closest unit. And then we're done, okay? All right, so that's the end of the turn. So how many action points did he spend? You can see here he spent 1 action point, but this is a building. And we go over here and we look on the building for foot movement, and you can see that it was +1 action point. Sorry, let me zoom in for you here. +1 action point there for foot movement. So he spent a total of 2 action points. So it's the same deal for him. So we're going to draw a card. And you can see the 5 at the bottom. So he's not spent either. So he's still active to do something else. Now it's back to our turn. And we're just going to keep going back and forth like this. And it's still round 1, just turn 2, but we're not keeping track of turn numbers here. So we get to go again. And I really am chomping at the bit to finish him off. So I'm going to try again. This time I don't have my little handy-dandy card to help me, but I do still have 2 more command points, and I'm going to burn them. I'm burning them like there's no tomorrow. And we're going to add a +2 to our die roll here. So just doing the quick math again, this is a 3, that is a 12, so I need a 9. I just spent the 2 command points, so I need a 7 or better. You know, if we're playing at the craps table, we have some pretty good odds here. So let's see. And look at that, I rolled a 3. So I missed, and I'm out of command points, which is even worse. So I spent 4 action points, and we missed. So now I'm going to draw, and here you can see that's a 6. So I'm fine. My unit is still fresh. Now it's their turn. So we're going to draw for them. And it's another command card. Holy cow. All right, so, and of course we're getting unlucky here that they're drawing those, but we're sort of getting lucky too. Because some of these cards that are not blue have a section like this one here. That is a check. And if this check is true, then the mission timer gets incremented by +1. And that mission timer is what ends the game. And so we don't want the end game to end now. We're losing. We're not winning yet. So we don't want to get those, or at least not have those pass the test. Okay. Fail, fail, execute counteractions. Okay, that's a new thing. So let's go look at that. Counteractions are listed in the scenario book. And it says, if no unit just fired, AI closest to a spent unit, move towards. If no unit just fired. I have no idea what on earth just fired meant. It was even in the rulebook as an example, and it doesn't explain what just fired means. So what unit just fired? Oh, I'm sorry. Back up. Unit. That's us. That's me. That's my. Remember, I just told you what the key words mean. Unit versus AI. So I was breaking my own rule set there. A unit means if it was us that just fired. Well, we did just fire. So we don't do counteraction. There is no counteraction. That only occurs if no unit just fired. All right. So now we go down to here. Highest attack rating. Okay, so let's look at their attack rating. The transport actually has the highest attack rating of 3. So highest attack rating, AI, closest to a fresh hit unit. Oh, hit unit means none of us are hit, so we move that out. Fresh, unhit AI, closest to a spent unit. We have no spent units. Fresh unit closest to a mission objective. Ooh, Mark spent. Oh my gosh, that actually hurt him. Okay, so fresh unit close. Oh, no, that's a fresh unit. That's us. That's bad. Dang it. Fresh unit closest to a mission objective, Mark spent. Okay, so you got to pay attention. It's not them, it's us. Okay, fresh unit closest to a mission objective is, of course, this guy. And what they're saying is we're spent. We didn't even get to activate him. So that hurts. All right, as far as action points go, there's no check to be done because they didn't actually do anything with their unit. So now it's back to us. So now I'm in that zone, like I told you, where I'm going to be missing all the time because I need a 9 or better to hit, and I want to hit him. Though otherwise, I have to spend 2 turns trying to get this guy moved to here, and then we can at least get a +1, which means what, an 8 or better would hit. I'd rather spend those 2 turns rolling the die. So let's roll and hope I get a 9. And I just hit everything on the board, but believe it or not, I did get a 9. I knocked this unit off, but we should be good. Okay, so I got it. This is super lucky, but it makes up for that 3 that I rolled last time, which was super unlucky. All right, so here's the awesome news. Second hit on a unit is a kill. Okay, so this is now eliminated from the game. This just goes back in the cup. Shuffle it up. All right, so this rifle unit is out of the game. Now, a couple of things happen when we do this. I'm just going to set it off to the side here. First thing is we score a victory point. So we get a point. Now, this is going to be different for every scenario. We know we score a victory point because the scenario specifically tells us. For each eliminated German, we get a victory point. So we got a victory point for that. Now, in any game, doesn't matter what the scenario is, you then go through this deck until you find one of those blue command cards. See that blue command card? This is now eliminated from the deck. So we take that out of the deck, and then we take the discard cards, and we shuffle them. Now, I don't know how important that is. Look how thick this deck is. I mean, there's a lot of blue command cards, of course, in this game. But we got rid of one of them. I guess that's something. It's better than a kick in the butt with a frozen boot, right? So, am I having fun? It's not bad. I think the part that gets me is when we start playing the bigger scenarios where there's a lot more units at play, it's really difficult sometimes to figure out who's doing what. And I'm already frustrated with how the dice rolls are. There's a lot of dice rolling in this game, and there's not a lot you can do to make it better. But I already killed a unit. I mean, I'm still on step 1 of the mission track, and I killed a unit. I think I'm doing quite well. So, am I having fun, though? You know, it's not bad. I think I told Gunther that whenever, or Yui, I mean, it was Yui I was speaking with. No, it was Gunther. I just told him it wasn't that I wasn't having fun. It was just certain things I don't like. But it is good to get the juices going, and I haven't played a board game in a really long time, so I am enjoying this. Would I enjoy Comancheria? I don't know. I've never played that one, so I am anxious to get to that one. All right, so here we go. We are shuffled. So now it is our turn to check. We spent 4 action points here, and see this one? No, this is new. So obviously, if you had this, we would have failed and our unit would be spent, okay? But because we have this with the check mark, it's an automatic pass. It doesn't matter, there is no number. It doesn't matter what your number was, you automatically pass, okay? Now, the rulebook does specifically say that if you want a more challenging game, because this game's too easy for you, then you would ignore this and always use, that's the reason why that number's there. That number's here because you could play a variant where you're ignoring that. Also, if the AI were to draw a card like this to check to see if he's spent, the AI never uses this. The AI always uses the number. So this number is for the AI when they're doing their check, or for us if we're playing the hard variant. We're not doing a hard variant, so we pass. Otherwise, we would have failed. So good thing for us, we're going easy. Okay, AI turn. Here we go. This is no check. The mission counter just moved by 1. So we're still in round 1 and the mission counter already moved. So let's zoom in here and see what this says. Sniper fire. So we're gonna roll 1d6 and the cap losses are for the current round only. Just so you understand, I have no cap points, so there's no point in even rolling. I have nothing to lose. I'm already at 0. So neener, neener, neener. We spent our cap points before the sniper even got there. But there you go. All right, so, oh, I forgot. We've got to finish their turn. Okay, there's nothing here, nothing here. Counteraction. We did fire, so unhit AI closest to a fresh unit that just acted. Okay, so this was the unit that just acted there. So they're going to try to attack us. Here's the problem. It's an unhit AI closest. We're not in his line of sight because we're flanking him right now. We're behind him. And I would argue that center to center, this is actually in the way, the building. So he can't attack us. So we move on to the next one. That's unfortunate just because of the way he's you know, pointing. AI that's closest to the lowest DV unit, damage value. DV, yes, oh, defense value, I'm sorry. AI closest to the lowest defense value. Well, our defense value is 11 for everybody. So all 4 of my guys have an 11 defense value. Oh, I'm sorry, 12. See, okay. It's an 11 if you're flanked, 12 if you're not. So none of our guys are flanked, so they're all at a 12. Okay, so the AI closest to the lowest DV value is going to attack even if long range +1 cap. Okay, what does long range mean? We got to figure that out. I mentioned it before. 5.1. And now it's sending me to the regular rulebook, 7.7.1. That's probably, I don't know what long range is. It's in the multiplayer. If the range to a target exceeds an attacking unit's range, but is less than or equal to twice its range, it may still attack long range, but it gets a -2 penalty. Oh, okay. So what it's saying is this guy has a 5 here, but he can actually shoot 10 spaces away. But anything that's over 5 is a -2 attack value. That's an interesting concept. Not going to use that here. So they're going to attack even if it's long range. And this +1 cap means pretend like they had a cap just like we did and they spent 1 point to get a +1 to their die roll. That's what this means, the +1 cap. That's helping the AI. Okay, so the AI closest, well, if we just go over to here, there's 2 AI that's closer to here. And it doesn't say which one attacks, even though he has the better attack value. It doesn't say that we get to pick him. But we do have, sorry, I'm trying to grab some sheets here. We do have this to guide us. So if there's more than one eligible AI is closest to or furthest from a target, attack with the eligible AI that is unhit has the highest attack rating. So yes, in the case of a tie, which this is, this one's going to be the one to attack. That's what it's saying. So we are going to pick the little recon transport unit there. I would say that's a transport more than a recon. But okay, so we're going to pick him, and he will attack. Okay, he has a pink. What does that mean? Do I have him on his spent side? I do. He's not spent yet. Sorry. Okay, so he's going to attack. So he will attack here, like that. And now, here's where it gets crazy, the solitaire rules. So they will, the order says to attack, correct? But they will not attack if certain conditions are met, even if the rule tells you to attack, okay? That's the reason why I'm going really slow and being careful with this. So where are those rules written? Now is the next question, because I know I saw this. Here we go. All right, target hierarchy. The eligible AI can execute an attack order. That's not what I'm looking for. Here we go, AI attack eligibility. An AI will not attack long range unless ordered so. Well, they were ordered so in this case. An AI will not attack a target if it needs a modified 2d6 to be greater than or equal to 11 to hit. Okay, that's the part that gets crazy. So this one is a 2d6, of course. He gets a +3, right? There's a +3 to his AR. He's going up against a 12, but I'm in heavy woods. That's heavy woods there. So the heavy woods gives a +2 to the DM. So here's heavy woods, +2. So our number is a 14, okay? 14 minus 3 is 11, all right? So his attack roll needs to be an 11 or better to be able to hit. Now, it does say modified 2d6, okay? That means that we get to add the +3, of course, from his thing. Also, look here, there's a +1 cap. So he actually only needs a 10 to hit. So we're just 1 away. And so he will do the attack. But if he did not have this +1 cap, if that +1 cap didn't exist, he actually would not attack because of this 11 rule. And I find this happens a lot in this game, by the way. It's the AI will refuse to attack because of this. And of course it won't go into a CC, it won't attack a CC hex, which is close combat. Now, what happens if they can't do anything? They do a move. I think it's called a low risk move. I'd have to look again to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that they would do a low risk move. And what that ends up happening is they, the AI will start moving towards us, but they're going to use like cover. They're going to go into a building or into the heavy woods. They're going to avoid anything that's like the road, right? Where we killed that one unit. And then they're just going to move closer to you because there's a real good chance that the reason they can't hit you is because they're just not close enough. And the answer to that is true. Now, at the bottom here, there is an execute mission orders, and the execute mission orders is actually another one of those things where you have to look in the rule book, right? So this particular scenario says the AI in the open closest to a unit moves towards cover. And that's what I was worried about. Remember, I was worried about this particular unit moving towards cover. But we're not doing any of that. This unit is attacking. It's the, this. And we already calculated he needs a 10 or better to hit, which I'm feeling pretty good about the odds on that one. And he rolled a 7, so he missed. Okay, so now we're going to draw a card. How many action points did he spend? If you look over here, you can see he spent 2 action points. And it is a number inside of a circle, which means, oh, it's turreted fire. So we're okay. He didn't have to move his turret or anything crazy like that. So we're good. He's facing the right direction. And so you can see here there's a 5, so he's not spent. So we're moving on. It's now our turn. Okay, so our unit is spent here. We can't do anything with him. Obviously, he's able to take fire, but we're not able to activate him. We do have this unit that's pretty far away. He actually can attack, and that's not considered a long-range attack at all. But I actually like the idea of this unit, if you'll notice, is facing that way. We can really flank him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this unit up like that. That only cost me 1 AP. And then I'm done. I can't do anything else. It's move 1 point at a time. So there's a 2 there, so I got lucky. I only spent 1. My turn's already over. Remember, that was like gripe number 2 or 3 with this game. That was all my turn. It's gonna take us forever to figure out what they're gonna do on their turn. So, all right, so here we go. It's their turn now. Neither of these happen. AI closest to the lowest DV unit attacks. Okay. All of our units have the same defense value. And remember, this doesn't say modified defense value. That's very important. So you don't count the woods and all that stuff. So that would be, again, he's going to attack with the, the little SDKFZ is basically trying to mow down our guys. So unfortunately though, there's no cap +1, and we already know, we did the math last turn, right? That he needed a 10 or better, but now he would need an 11 or better, and we just verified that 11 or better means that he will not attack. So that's not going to happen. This one can't because we're behind him, we're flanking. So this doesn't happen. Now we move here. Unhit AI closest to a spent unit moves towards. Ooh. Now this is interesting. He's unhit and he's close, but he can't move per the scenario rules. He is unhit and close, but he's on the objective. I don't know if that matters because it doesn't say that. And then this one's unhit and close, but he's like not even oriented correctly. So which one moves? And that's where the $1 million question comes in. And this is where I think you could end up doing it wrong. But here we go. If more than one eligible AI is closest to a target, for move orders, move the eligible AI that is unhit, has the lowest movement cost. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. So they're both unhit. His movement cost would be 1, because that's an open terrain. His movement cost would be more than 1, because going into a building, a wooden building, is +1 action point. So his cost would be 2. So now there is such a movement called, it's not on that card. I know they have it. can't believe none of these have it written on it. Let me see if I can find you an example real quick. There's a movement called low risk move. And a low risk move is different than a regular move. And it's very important to point that out. I know we already know what's going to happen for this turn, but here's the movement hierarchy. The AI will move to a hex that is a fewer number of hexes away. Then the AI will move out of a fire zone. Then move into the highest defense modifier. Then towards an enemy flank, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's our priority for movement, okay? But a low-risk move, it has restrictions. They will never move into close combat, and they will not move into short-range fire. Now, this guy is moving into short-range fire, so if it was a low-risk move, he would never do that. Here's what's even crazier. I can't find it. I don't know if it's because I'm just in a wrong section. But here's the other thing that's crazier. This control point is a building, which gives him +1 to his defense modifier. He just moved out into the open, so he left cover to charge towards. But that's what the card says. It says move towards. Okay, it's not a low-risk move. It's a regular move. So he's moving out into the open, which is really a boneheaded thing to do, if you ask me. It's boneheaded in multiple ways because, number one, he's losing cover, which is always boneheaded. And then secondly, the mission objective, he shouldn't leave the mission objective. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that someone's going to write in and tell me, hey, Jeff, you did it perfectly, except the mission objective is the one thing that they won't leave because that's important. And I really wish it would say it somewhere because I can't find where it says that. But to me, a unit leaving the mission objective, which has a higher defense value, and the whole goal of this mission is to defend that objective, those are some really dumb Germans to charge out like that. So that's my issue with that particular move, but it is what it is. And that's what the card said to do. So they did this, it was 1 action point. And there it is, greater than or equal to 1. So to make it even worse, they ran out into the open and now they're spent. Oh my gosh. Doobers. Okay, so now it's our turn and we got some interesting scenarios here. The first one is we can make an attack on him in open terrain. 12 minus 3 is a 9, right? If we were to get, you know, somehow, I don't know what an attack from here is. Because is that flank or not flank? Because they're straight across. That's an interesting question. I can look that up. I'll just look that up now, actually. They got a nice little diagram in the rule book. The main multiplayer rule book has some awesome diagrams. I highly recommend you look at those. There's one on what flanking is versus not flanking. Just need to find it. Bear with me. Right there it is. So if you're here, and then this is like, you know, straight east or straight west, those are flank attacks. So if we were to somehow move from here all the way into this building, we are now flank attacking him, and we'd be attacking his 11 number instead of his 12 number. Not a big difference, but a +1 is a big deal in this game. That would take us 1, 2, 3 moves to be able to do that. That's a long setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we're here, and I'm going to get in. Well, the getting's good. So that's 2 action points. It's 1 to move there, and then 1 because of the building, and we're now flanking this guy. So 2 action points. Let's hope we don't get spent, and we are. Dang it. Oh, that hurts. So we ended up getting spent. So we're never going to be able to attack. All right. So how could I have mitigated that? Well, one of the ways was to have command points, right? I could have spent command points to prevent that from happening. and I blew them all in the beginning, remember? But also bear in mind that that sniper fire would have blown a whole bunch too, whenever the mission marker moved. And so I'm pretty confident had we not spent the command points earlier in the game, they still wouldn't have been here. But that was very unfortunate for us because we were set up to do an awesome attack. And now we won't. Okay, so now we move to this. It's a command order, which means that their spent units do activate. Okay, so this spent unit could activate. All right. There is no close combat, but we do have 2 of these scenarios. We have one here, and we have one there. Let me move the camera a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, so there's going to be a group attack, or a pivot, or a rally. Now, this is interesting. Pivot is important for him. Rally is important for none of them. But remember, we go left or right. So group attack would be the first check. This is a group attack, and he can do it. So I think we're going to do the group attack. All right, so what is a group attack? He will be the leader. He's attacking there. And let's zoom in a little so you can see better. Leader attacking there. He's joining in. The only thing this guy does is he gives a +1 to his die roll. So whatever we calculate we need to roll here, this gives a +1 to it. Okay, so we're in the heavy wood, so we actually have a defense value of a 14. He gets a +2 right here, and then this gives him another +1. So we're at a +3. So 14 minus 3 is 11. Guess what? He's not attacking. So remember the rule. If it's 11 or worse, he's not going to attack. And because we're in the woods and that's a 14, it's not enough. So we're going to do a pivot then. Because remember, it was group attack, then pivot, and then rally. So we're going to pivot. So that means this guy, who we were flanking, is now going to turn around, because that's what a pivot does. So he was able to stop exposing his flank. Now, it's not the end of the world for us, because we just moved from an 11 to a 12. But that +1, it would have been nice. Because it's not like we get a huge bonus here. Our guys are getting a +3 to our die roll. So now instead of rolling an 8, we need to roll a 9. Okay, he did a pivot. That didn't cost any action points, so there's no check, I don't think. I don't even know what we would check. He didn't spend any action points. So we keep going. It's now our turn. What do we want to do? Well, I mean, I can start moving this guy in, but if I do, I'm no longer flanking him. And so I'm going to start moving this guy in. So we're going to go ahead and go here for 1. Yeah, we'll do that. That costs 1 action point, and we're good. A little green check mark. So now it's their turn. Okay, so they're going to attack, pivot, or rally again. All right. Well, we know for sure this one can't attack, but this one might be able to. He gets a 2 to his attack. We get a +1 because we're in a building. So 13 minus 2 is 11. There's no attacks happening. There's no pivots or rallies happening. So then we can execute counteraction. Counteraction is if no unit just fired. That was true because we moved. We did not fire. If no unit just fired, and just a reminder, we're looking in the scenario here. If no unit just fired, AI closest to a spent unit moves towards. Well, this is interesting. Would they really move into close combat? Oh man, I feel like they wouldn't do half of these moves. They're just silly moves to do, but let's look real quick. if both the unit and a mission objective are eligible to move, the AI moves towards the target listed first. If the eligible AI can execute a move order against multiple units that are equally distant away, they execute an order against SPET unit, then hit unit, the unit closest to a mission objective, then randomly determine. Wow, it doesn't say, and yeah, we're going into close combat. So this unit is charging the building. Ooh, that's some pretty tricky stuff there. Okay, so they just moved into close combat. They're duking it out for this this building. Okay, that cost him 2 action points, and he stays active. So the problem is we're not active. We're spent. So we can't. And then here's the crazy thing: if you're shooting into a close combat from outside, you're potentially going to hit your own friendlies. And the AI never does that, by the way. That's something, and I'd have to look at what would happen if we did it. But I'm going to stick with my plan. It's my turn. So we're going to go to this guy here and move 1 space. That's an action point cost of 1. And there's a 6, so we stay active. So now it's their turn. And we got to look here. If AI plus units is less than or equal to 4. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. The answer is not true. So the mission marker does not move. Okay, they're going to either attack or disengage. Okay, because remember, we have priority here. This is the close combat situation. Attack or disengage. Okay, disengage is exactly what it sounds. They're going to get out of dodge. So they don't want to... If an AI is in close combat, it'll do a low-risk move to get out of that hex. So that's what a disengage is. And, but I think they're going to try to attack first. Now, close combat attacks, I don't think has any other... I don't think it has any weird... Let me check real quick. Close combat, 7.7.3... this is, mind you, this is multiplayer rules here. You may, but do not have to, attack one opposing unit in the same hex. The close combat attack requires an AP, cap, opportunity, or card action. That's not true in solitaire. -2 AR penalty for AR values that are in a white box. That's like this. +4 bonus for all other units. Ooh, so yeah, close combat's a big deal. So, does not affect other friendly units. It's resolved against the flank DR of the enemy unit. Interesting. Terrain DMs affect all units defending in CC. Fortification benefits only the occupying unit. Units in CC can only group attack with other... Units cannot sight outside of their hex. Advancing into an enemy hex is an action, so the defending unit may attack or withdraw during the next action if it can. When attacking stacked units in another hex, the attacker rolls against each enemy unit. But in close combat, the attacker may attack only one enemy unit at a time. Outside units can attack into a CC hex, resolving the attack against all the units. Oh yeah, so that means you're hitting friends and foes alike. If a spent unit with no cap or action cards to play is surprised and cannot react to an enemy into its hex. A Soviet rifle occupying heavy woods is assaulted by German pioneers. Pioneers move cautiously forward into the hex next to the Soviets. Soviet rifle attacks short range and misses. The pioneers move into their hex. The Soviet rifle attacks with a 7 AR because they get a +4 bonus. The Soviets need a 7 to hit and scores. The Germans get lucky and pull an unnerved hit marker. Pioneers attack with an 8 AR and a 9 to kill. Right. Okay. So that brings up another good point with attacks. Our little cheat sheet here actually has a combat table, and it tells you, for example, your DV is your defense rating plus the terrain. For combat resolution, you normally only do 1 hit, and then on a second hit it's destroyed. But if you can ever get +4, remember, like, we needed a 9 or better to hit. If I was able to somehow roll a 13, I would actually do a critical hit and destroy the unit. So when you get into close combat, you get a +4 to your roll. So that's what this is. So you're getting +4 to your attack roll, or a -2 if you have a white box, which we don't have in this situation. So they're going to get a +4. And it's against our flank. So they're going to do it against our number 11 instead of our number 12. We do get to add +1 because we're in a building. And then here you can see short range fire is +3. That's if the target's in it. Oh, I screwed that up, folks. +3 means that this guy would have attacked instead of him pivoting back here. Oh, I screwed that up. I am so sorry. We're going to remember that for the future, right? So that was a mistake. And then, of course, -2 for long range. This is a really nice chart. We should have been looking at this. Why didn't you tell me? All right. And then there's even things for like stacked units, fire zone. There's all kinds of. This is a very well done player's aid. What is this? This is Academy Games. I can see why people like this game. I really do. Because this game gets a lot of accolades. They actually have a lot of really good thought put into this game. Sometimes it's a lot to remember, but here's what's funny. After playing all of the D-Day games, and especially Enemy Action Ardennes, this is a nice little sweet spot. Enemy Action Ardennes was very procedural like this, but it was too much. I'm not saying I couldn't handle it. I'm just saying it was overwhelming. I don't feel overwhelmed with this game. I do think I have to stop and be careful and check the rules, and you can see we just missed something. But these are very nicely done player aids. A lot of very important information are on them. So anyways, I do appreciate that, and I'm glad we're doing this because this is like helping us to catch these kinds of issues. So thank you for staying with me, and I hope you're enjoying this, even though it's going slow. Okay, so let's do the attack. So what does he need to do? He gets a +2 here, see? And he gets so he's getting a +6, right? +4 for close combat, +2 for this. +6 against our 11 +1 for this is 12. So 12 minus 6 is 6. So if he gets a 6 or better, he hits us. If he gets a 10 or better, he kills us. Ooh. And he got a 7, so we got hit. So let's grab a hit counter. Big bucks, no whammies. Stop. We're pinned. Here's an interesting one. That didn't hurt us. Well, I mean, if we get hit again, we die, but it doesn't have any penalties. We're just pinned. So, but we're also, as you can see here, we're not able to take actions. So we're not only in a bad shape, but we're... So I may want to consider firing into there and just trying to hit both us and them. That's a very interesting issue there. And when we attack both in a stack, attack rolls are made against all units. So I think you roll once and then you evaluate it against everybody. So that means if we hit them, we hit ourselves too. That's crazy cray. Oh, by the way, if we get a casualty, when the new round starts, we don't get 4 cap points anymore. We only get 3. You lose a cap point, a command point, for every unit that you've lost or had a casualty. So it's not good if we lose that guy. I mean, we need to save him somehow. I don't know if maybe we want to go in and try to do close combat, right? That's not close combat, but short range, because we just found out now that short range fire gets +3. That's almost as good as +4, right? I like it. I like Pizza Steve. It's our turn. We actually have 2 juicy choices, right? We could go here and get a nice flank attack on him, but I think we need to save our guy. So let's stay in the woods and just move that way, right? So that costs 1 action point, and then the heavy woods costs another +1. So 2 action points for us. And let's see if we stay active, and we do. There's a 4. All right, so now let's go to them. Here, they want to disengage, or attack. So it's always left to right. So the priority is disengage. Now, disengage is a low-risk move. Now, this is what's interesting. A low-risk move means they will only move if they can stay in cover that's as good as what they're in now. And this is open field, open field, open field, open field, open field. The only cover was where we are at. So this is interesting. I am not sure I read what we do in that situation. So let's get out the rule book again and look at low risk move. 5.3.1. All right, so well, let's make sure that a disengage really is a low-risk move situation. I'm pretty sure it is. Disengage. The AI in close combat will low-risk move out of the hex. Right there. It says it. So let's go. All right. They will not move into close combat. So what that means is they're not going to move to us, right? They're not going to move out of the building and into the woods with us. They're not going to do that. They will not move into an opponent's short-range fire zone. That is weird. How do you disengage then? Because if you disengage with a close combat unit, you're always moving into a short-range fire zone because you're... That's for low-risk moves. If the AI is not in a... Oh, here we go. If the AI is in a fire zone, the AI will move into a non-fire zone hex, move into a fire zone hex that has the same or higher DM. That's what I was trying to tell you. They're in a +1 DM right now because of the building. And everywhere they have a choice to move to is not +1, so it's not good. We'll move towards the target's flank. If the AI cannot move closer, we'll pivot towards a flanking unit if the AI cannot move. So this low-risk move thing is like assuming that you're not in a close combat situation. That's not quite as helpful of a chart as I was hoping for. Is there a close combat section? I don't think there is. There's a ton of examples here. I don't think any of them are close combat examples. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, so what do we do here? We can move, he's in a fire zone. He will move into a non-fire zone, can't be done. Move into a fire zone hex that has the same or higher DM as the AI. That's an interesting one because this is higher. It's a +2. But he would be moving out of one close combat into another close combat. And I honestly don't know what the rules are telling me I can do here. I think they're very ambiguous in this situation. It does say priority for the AI is to move out of a fire zone into a higher defense modifier hex towards an enemy's flank. The other thing we can say is they're not going to disengage, and instead they're going to attack. Because remember, the command is disengage or attack. And you know what? I think disengage, there is a rule that says use common sense. And I think they're going to just attack. And this is what I was saying, that there's 1,000 ways to screw up this game. There's only 2 ways to do it right. I think there is a way to do this where you disengage and you still do it right because you did it purely based on the rules of reading left to right. But I think in this case, we're going to use some common sense and we're going to attack. I don't see any advantage of moving out of this frying pan and into another. In fact, by moving from here to here, we are active and can attack him. Whereas this one is a sitting duck. They're already spent. So, and then he has an opportunity to finish us off. So let's do it. He's going to see if he can finish us off. And there it is. There's an 8. And we are destroyed. So he eliminated us. And that hurts because he gets a victory point. So now he's back to 1 victory point for him. And we now only get 3 cap points whenever the round ends. So he had 3 action points. I think we forgot to check last time. But here it's only a 2. So he becomes spent. So that opens some doors for us. So we can attack from here and get a +3, or we can charge in and then do a close combat next turn. I'm going to go ahead and just do the +3. Excuse me. He's a 12, +1 is 13. We're a 3, +3 is 6. So 13 minus 6 is what, 7? So we get to hit with a 7 or better. Oh, we rolled a 3. What kind of crap is that? And we got a green check mark. So we survived that. So now it's his turn. The blue means that even though they're spent, they go. So we have this situation here, group attack or pivot or rally. Okay, there is no group attack here, but there is a group attack situation there. And remember we said we screwed that up. We're not going to screw it up this time. We actually have a 14 defense because we're in heavy woods. However, this is now a 2 plus a 3 is 5 because of the short tack. And then this gives a +1 because that's a group attack. So that's +6. So 14 minus 6 is 8. He will roll for an 8. That's way better than 11. And rolls a 6, so he misses. So now we don't have to see if he's spent because that's what the blue command card does. He was already spent. He got to go again. Now it's us. We're going to attack this guy. So what did we say that was? That was 13 minus 6, which is 7. So we need a 7 or better. I got myself an 8. So we did hit him. And he takes a damage. Oh, we weren't supposed to look, but we're playing beginner mode anyways. And we're going to go ahead and put that there, like so. Okay, so then we check to see if we got expended, and we did. Dang it. So now we're spent. All right, so now it's their turn. It is not a blue card. So the only guy that's left is him. And all in 0 DM hex closest to... What the heck is a 0? Oh, okay, 0 defense. So basically anybody out on a road. Closest to a unit or mission objective, move towards. Okay, remember this guy can't move. AI closest to a unit, attack. All right, he wants to attack, but he's 2 spaces away, so this is a 14, right? 14 minus 3 is 11, so he's not going to attack. Hit AI closest to a unit will rally. Okay, that does happen. No, well, hold on. It does not happen. This is a hit AI, but it's a spent AI. So it's not a blue card, so it doesn't apply to him. So we went through all of them and nothing happens. We got a unit that would do a low risk move because, you know, we made it through the whole card. But you got to understand, this unit can't move for any circumstance unless it's the only one left, and it will only move to here. So this is one of those strange situations where, since that's the only unit left for him, we may be drawing a lot of cards and the actions don't do anything. So, okay, it's our turn. We're spent here. So we're going to go ahead and move in. So now we got a flank situation against him. That cost us 2 action points. And there's a 5, so we're alive. So now we go to them. If AI units plus, okay, we're definitely less than 10. The mission timer is moving up by +2. Oh, okay. So, let's go up here. This is going to move +2. Now, just so you understand from a rules perspective, let's say there was text here. We skip that text. We don't read it unless it's yellow like this. If it was yellow like this, what I'm running my finger along, then you do that text no matter what, even if you're skipping over it. So in this case, we happen to skip over a blank, and here it's auto rally. As AI action, the hit AI closest to a unit auto rallies even if spent. Oh, damn it. So what's happening there is he healed himself. All right, and then as far as the action goes, low risk move, rally, attack, we know none of those are going to happen because the transport unit there really can't attack, can't do anything. Okay, so here we got a flank situation. So we get a +3 against an 11. So 11 minus 3 would be 8. Now, if I spend one more turn moving in, I'm still flanking him, but now I'm able to make this a 6. So that would be 11 minus 6, which is 5. Way better odds. Now, obviously, I'm taking chances that I'm going to get skunked and spent, but I could actually even try to move all the way to the control, and then I'd be flanking both of these suckers. This is actually a very interesting situation. I'm going to take the risk of moving at least one more space, and I'm going to make sure I'm oriented this way. That is 1 action point, and we got lucky. All right, so it's his turn. It's a green card. Nothing. He gets a +1 cap, so let's check this real quick. This would be a 14 minus a 3. We said it's 11, but with a +1 cap, it's a 10. So he's actually going to attack. He needs a 10 or better. He got a 9. Oh, it was close. So nothing happens. All right, now it's our turn. So what's the better priority here? Should we try to damage him, which gives us an AP cost of 4? Means we could get ourselves into a spent situation. Or do we move one more, and now we got both of them flanked? I think I like the idea of moving one more. What's interesting is we have 0 against hard targets here. See that? That's a blue 0. And this guy's a 12, even if we have him flanked. He's tough. We're not going to be able to take out an armored transport like that, or recon, or whatever he is. So I think since this is a victory point, I'm going to go ahead and move in. And that cost me 2 movement action points. 1 to move, 1 because it's a building. I'm going to move in, and I'm going to make sure I'm facing that way. Because I'm worried about him. I want to make sure I'm not getting flanked from there. And in doing so, we changed the control point to ours. All right, there's a special victory point condition here. We get +1 immediately for control of Hex IO7. And we would lose it if we lose that victory point. And then they got 1 for eliminating us, of course. But we get +1 victory points. So we flip this back over to 1. And that was 2 action points. So We survived. It is now their turn. Reshuffle deck after action. That's fine. He's not hit. He's going to attack with a +2. Here's what's interesting. He's going to attack with a +2, but remember he has a turret, this guy. So even though he's facing that way, he gets a -2 because he has to swivel around. So the +2 cancels his -2. So we're looking at a 12 + 1 is 13, -3. That is a 10. So for a 10 or better, he would actually hit us. And he's going to attack. He's attacking the unit that just acted, which is this one. Oh my gosh, he rolled a 12. Jeez Louise. All right, well, we took a hit. Oh, well, good news, we're not... All right, so we could try to do a rally, by the way. A rally, if we roll a 7 or better, we can basically get rid of that. And if we do a rally, it is 5 action points. So for the purposes of seeing if we're spent, it'll be 5 action points. Okay, so he did get us, and we do have to shuffle. So am I ready for one of the bigger scenarios? Sure, why not? I do want to check a few more things in the rulebook. This movement stuff definitely trips me up sometimes. Just because I'm trying to decide where the right place is to move. But it's not... I think this game's humming along really quick. This scenario is a nice, simple scenario. I don't know if I'm going to win. I actually feel like it's anybody's thing. I don't think I can take out this dang unit. I mean, it's just too hard. So I do get a... Because he's short range... Oh... He's short range on us too. So this was a 13. This is actually a 6. 13 minus 6 is 7. He rolled a 12. We got eliminated. Dang it. All right, so he scored his victory point back. And we have all spent units. It's our turn. We are still controlling this until somebody moves there. But we pass. And there's nothing we can do. We can just pass. I hope everybody understands, because this is a short range attack, short range fire, he got a +3. And with him rolling a 12 like he did, he obliterated us. It was a critical hit. So that was just really unfortunate on our part. My goodness. That was actually our chance to get him, right? Is to get close combat or something. But we're done. We have to pass, so it's his turn. He's going along. You know what? When he attacks, we're supposed to do this. I bet we didn't. But anyways, yeah, that means he would have passed. So let's just put this card aside, and then this would be his card. He would not attack. He would not rally. And so he's passing. Passing, by the way, for the AI, remember I said they would do a low-risk move? I think I lied. They would pass. Because there is a way for the AI to pass, by the way. Because both of us have to pass. And where is that written at? If no order listed on the card can be executed, the AI passes. That's what it is. They don't do a low-risk move, they pass. So my apologies, I explained that wrong. But now they pass, so the round's over. We lost 2 units, so we're only gonna get 2 command points now because our command is less. Everybody refreshes. You know what, I think the last time I played this game, and it's the only other time I've played this game, I don't think I got the short range attack right. Because I remember being so frustrated that we kept missing all the time. When you get close like this, it actually gets pretty intense. Anyways, so here we are. It's a new round, and we do get to draw a new card. So it's a free action. Take 1 free action of any cost with any unit. This actually might help us quite a bit, considering that we're in a pickle. Now we got to decide initiative, which I know I read the rules for, and I apologize because I forgot, but it is in the index 2.6. Beginning of each round, roll 2d6. We win if we get an 8 or better. And we're allowed to spend cap points to modify this if we want. I'm okay with not getting initiative, but we got an 8, so we got it anyway. So we're first. So what do we want to do? We want to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And we're all out of gum, right? So I think I want to just get this guy out of the way. This is the objective. I do want to do something here, but we're in hardwoods there, and so we're in a really good spot. So from where we're at, let's do some damage. This guy did an awesome job of flanking, but he got eliminated from crap. Just a crappy roll. Okay, so let's try. This is a 4 attack. He is our submachine gun. He's the best unit we have in the game, this guy here. He has a 4. And because this is short range, it's a +3, so that's a 7, right? A 7 versus a 12, because he's out in the open. That means a 5 or a better hits. And I like those odds. So we're going to go ahead and roll. And I got a 6, which was barely able to do it, but we did it. And it would have been nice to do a critical hit, but we got him. And I'm going to go ahead and play the harder way and cover that up. But I'm going to play my card right away. I'm one of those people that just likes to blow my bonuses. So we're going to play it right away, and we're going to attack again. And you know what? We got to see if he actually went spent first. Let's it's a 4, see? And we were a 3, so we're fine. And now, yeah, we're going to attack again. 5 or better hits. This is a 9, so that's a critical hit. Didn't matter. So we killed the unit. So 2 of them are eliminated. And back to us, +1. So we're swinging back and forth here. Let's see if we stay in action, and we're spent. Dang it. So we flip back over. Their turn. If AI plus units is less than 4. It is, or less than or equal to. +2 on the mission track. Ugh. So 1, 2, bog down. We got to roll 1d6. I rolled a 3. If it's a 1 to 4, the FDFKZ 25.1 is immobilized until the end of the round. Then the AI attempts to execute the current order card as normal. So all this is saying is that this can't move even if he was able to move, which right now he can't until that unit's removed. Okay, so we are in a close combat situation, so they're going to attack, which could be bad news for us. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And we are at 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. It's getting late at night. In case you haven't heard my bells on my clock. And it's funny, even the basic math is making my head hurt. So 9. So he is going to do an attack. And it's a 5, so he misses. All right, so let's see if he's spent, and it's a 5, so he's good. All right, so it's our turn. This guy's spent, so this is the only one we have, so we're gonna attack him now, and it's a 3 plus a 3 is a 6. He's a 12 plus 1 is 13, so 13 minus 6 is 7. So we're looking at a 7 to hit him, and I'm gonna go ahead and spend 2 and make it a 5. And we get a 7. So we actually didn't need it again, but that's okay. I'm glad we get the hit. And oh, we weren't supposed to look. And we roll for us, and we are spent. That stinks. All right, so now it's their turn. They're going to attack. So we do have to reveal it now for the attack. So they get a +2 to their action point, so it's +5, which is actually very helpful to us. And then here you can see they actually get a +1 to their defense value. So, but their range is only a 1 now instead of a 5. That's very interesting how that one is, but the 5 action points is a good thing because it means that they have a real good chance that they're going to be spent after this. So, doing the math, again, it's 2 plus 3 is 5 against 14. That's right, it's a 9. So I rolled a 1 here, and it doesn't even matter what this would have been. It needed to be re-rolled, but even if it was a 6, it's still not enough. So let's see. They're spent, so they become like that. It is our turn. We pass. And now it's their turn. Remember, they can't move. Well, hold on, we gotta do this. Mission counter moves by 2 again. So you can see the mission counter is moving fast now. The AI performs 2 actions in a row, drawing a new order card for the second action. Only then is it the player's turn. Well, this is what's interesting. What happens if they pass? If they pass and we pass, the round ends. And I don't think they get to do 2 actions in a row then. That's interesting. Which one trumps the other? Let's see. Attack +1 cap. They actually might not pass. So let's look at this. This is a 14 minus a 4 could be a 10. They are not going to pass. They're actually going to attack. So they don't pass. And they got a 6, which is not a 10, so they miss. And then they go to the next card. Well, first of all, we got to check to see if they're spent. They're not. Next card, reshuffle deck. Attack +1 again. So it's a 5, so nothing happens. And they are now spent. So even the recon unit there is spent. And so now we're going to go ahead and shuffle. And for sure now we got a pass-pass situation. Well, actually we may not. They may actually get a blue card. This is what's crazy. If they get a blue card, they keep going. So for us, it's been pass, pass, pass. And we are still passing. And so there's a hasty defense counter. It's somewhere in here. One of the actions we have available to us is we can basically you can like build your own little like barricade or bunker or whatever. So that way it's called a hasty defense. It's 7 action points. So there's a real good chance that after you build that sucker, there we go. So basically you're building like a real quick barricade. You know, just something to hide behind, right? It costs you 7 action points though. So there's a real high chance you're going to be spent after you do that. But if you're out in the open road or whatever, that might not be a bad idea. And then you get a +1 to your defense. And then of course there's actual real life bunkers. These are insane, these ones. But anyways, it is an option that we have. I just don't see any value in it. Hiding in the woods like we are seems to be pretty good. Okay, so we're passing, and as long as this is not a blue card, they're gonna pass too. Oh, come on. All right, so they're gonna execute this one, but there's no group attack. So they're gonna pivot or rally. So they're going to rally. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, the rally for them is a 8 or better. They rolled a 9, so they rallied. Sucks. Okay, we pass. Blue card again. Jeez Louise. Group attack, pivot, or rally. They don't do any of those, actually. Highest AR, furthest from a fresh hit unit. None of that. Fresh, unhit, mobile. See, when it says fresh, even though it's blue, you still ignore the spent ones. Hit AI closest. So none of these happen. Execute mission orders. The mission orders are AI that's in open closest to a unit. Move towards cover. Or hit AI will rally. So it's none of those. So he actually passed. He didn't do anything. So we finally ended the round. Okay, so that round went quick. We didn't really do much. We hit one guy, but then nothing happened because he rallied. And we get a new card. We always get a new card every round. Here's the free action thing again. So let's see if we get to go first. We do not. It is him. So he draws, and there's the attack. So I think we calculated it was 2 + 3 is 5. He needs a 9 or better. And he got a 10. So he hit us. And we got crunched. So we actually get a -2 to all of our attacks. Oh, he sucks. He does become spent. So we flip him over. All right, so we can try to rally this guy. It costs us 5 action points to do this. We succeed if the 2d6 is greater than... Here, let me show you. We succeed if the 2d6 is greater than or equal to rally. Unit receives +1 die roll bonus if it's in a +1 DM or higher cover, and or +1 die roll bonus for each unhit friendly unit that's in its same hex, which is not the case here. But so we would get a +1 to our die roll because we're in cover. Yep. We need a 7. I'm going to take a shot at it. So it's going to cost us 5 action points, but so we need a 7 according to this. So that means we need a 6 because we're in cover. And I can spend some command points to make this even better, but I'll leave it at be. And there we go. We got our 9. We did rally, so this goes away. But that cost us 5 action points, so there's a real good chance we'll be spent. Oh, dang it. Right there. 5. So we end up becoming spent. Dang it. All right, so now the question becomes, what do we do with this guy? But it's their turn first. So and hit AI in cover. He's not in cover. He can't move. He can't move. He can't move. So he passes. All right, we're not passing yet. Okay, so our submachine gun has a 0 here. Our only chance of hitting Mr. 13 is to be close, because then we would get a +3, which means we would need a 10. But the thing is if we move towards him, he gets to shoot at us too. That's not cool. That gives me a free action. It says with any unit. I'm not sure that means a spent unit. I'm really not thinking that means a spent unit. But what I think I want to do though is I want to move twice and get back into the building. And then I'd be flanking this guy. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to move once, and then assuming I don't get spent, I'm going to move again. And then we'll be oriented that way. So here's the first check. After the first move, we are fine. And then after the second move, we are now spent. Because if we rolled a freaking 1. Okay, so we ended up making it in, but now we're spent. So now it's their turn. Can't move. Will he attack? Remember, he's facing this way, so he gets a -2 to his attack, so it's only a 1. But he does get a +3 because he's next to us, so that's a 4. And we're at a 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. He does attack. Oh, Jesus. Oh. You live by the dice, you die by the dice, right? And here we go. We are panicked. There is no attack at all? Jeez Louise. Okay. Our only hope now is that he becomes spent, and he does not. We pass. We can't even rally. So now he goes. Mission marker is moving by 1. So yeah, actually, maybe that's the best thing for us, is for the mission marker to hit end. Okay, unhit AI closest to a fresh unit. AI closest to a mission objective. Or you know what? He's actually here. Never mind. We got to do this. Attack. So now we got a -2 here. See this? We get a +1 if we're flanked. Okay, so we get a -2. So that's a 10. +1 is 11. Minus 4 is 7. So he has a 7 or better. Oh, we got lucky with a 4. And there we go. He's spent. So we pass. Oh, blue card. Jesus. Okay, the blue card is a group attack, a pivot, or a rally. And he's going to pivot. I don't think that's considered a move. So we pass. He goes again. A blue card again. Group attack, pivot, or rally. We're getting lucky. It's a group attack. Execute counteraction. Execute mission order. None of these are attacks, so I'm just looking for if he would attack. They're all like move commands. So he passes. So we finally end, even though we keep drawing blue. One thing I just realized, we killed a second German unit, and I forgot to take out another one of these blue cards. So so I'm just going to take one of them out of the deck, and then reshuffle. So I was supposed to have one less blue card in the deck. God only knows if that, would have changed anything, but that is the situation. So there we are, we're panicked, we're in an awful shape there, but we are at least refreshed, and refreshed, and they're refreshed. We do have 2 command points, and we get another card. Rapid deployment, there we get to move 2 hexes over passable terrain. That actually is nice, but it's a little late in the game for that. Let's roll, see if we get our 8. We don't, they go first. So they get attack. Now, which one's going to do the attack? That is where we get out our little... If it's unhit, highest attack rating, it's going to be him. He's attacking. All right, so he's going to be attacking with a 3 plus 3. That's a 6. Minus 1 is a, hold on, 6, and we are at 12. 13 minus 2 is 11. 11 minus 6 is a 5. There's a real good chance he's going to kill us here. And there it is. So we're destroyed. Our unit is gone. And they just scored a victory point, so now they're +1. And let's see if he, yep, he stays active. So now it's on to us, and we got to do it. I'm going to attack him. We get a 3 plus 3 is 6, and he has a 13, so 13 minus 6 is 7. I'm going to spend my 2 command points to make it 5, and let's roll. There it is. We got a 10. So a 10 is 4 or more higher, so that was a critical hit, and we just destroyed them. And we got to get rid of another blue out of this deck. There's one right on the bottom. So I'm getting rid of another blue card, reshuffling, and we scored a victory point. So we're back to +1, just in case we've been just flipping between -1, +1 the whole game. So we're back to +1. It's now us versus one other unit. Since that other unit is the only one left in the game, he is now able to move. And he will move onto the control point, which will give him a victory point. So this is not good for us. Not even in the slightest. All right, so we did an attack. And we are in shit mode. We did that. Okay, so it's now his turn. We're gonna reshuffle. Execute counter actions. We did fire, so we skipped that. There's no rally necessary. He can't see us, so he can't attack. Move towards. That's interesting. He cannot move towards us unless it's less. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he can't move towards. Okay, I think he can actually. He can move, well, first of all, the mission rules is he can only move to here. That's the only, so it's not like he can move down the road and try to kill us. Now the rules say that a move towards means it has to be less hexes than when you started. But it does give you the caveat that you can, if you move and it's still the same number of hexes away, he can do it if it's got cover. Now, I think it's interesting because a armored unit moving into a building, it is +2 AP, so he is able to do it. So he is able to move here, and he would orient himself this way, and he would take control of the space, which then causes victory point to go his way. However, it is +2 action points, so his action points were 3. So let's see if he gets spent. And of course he doesn't. Now it's his turn again. And the mission timer moves up by 1. And it doesn't matter what he does there. He has no line of sight on us and he can't move. So there's no attack. There's nothing he can do. He will be passing. So that will be the end of the round. But this is moving up. So now it's Zeal. The player immediately receives 2 extra caps for the current round only. Then the AI attempts to execute. Well, that's stupid. We got 2 extra cap points for nothing. All right, so we've lost 3 units. So we only get 1 cap point now for the remainder of the game. So we only got 1 cap. And we do get another card, and we get a free action. All right, so let's roll to see who goes first. Sort of hope it's him. Of course it's us. We didn't need to go first this time. All right, so I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go ahead and just move one to there. We're still out of his line of sight. And do a check. Oh my gosh, we're spent. Okay, well, his turn's gonna be over soon. So there it is. Mission timer is moving up by 1. We're 1 away from the game ending. He can't do anything. So he's passing, we're passing, round's over. So now we move to the next round. I'm gonna draw a card. Rally up. So we can rally a unit that's not in close combat. Okay, so let's roll for initiative. We do get to go first. So I'm gonna go ahead and do rapid deployment. Lets us move 2 hexes. So 1, 2, like that. And this is the first move, second move. I don't know when I play one of these cards if I'm supposed to be checking. Like, well, actually, I wasn't supposed to check twice. That's the first mistake I made. So that second card, okay, let me back up. I got to move 2 hexes, which means it costs 0 AP. I didn't need to check anything when I did that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is a free action costs 0 AP. So it's always the AP you spend that you're checking against. So I think I've been doing that wrong in a few spots. So my apologies. That we're gonna chalk up to me being tired. I knew better. Okay, so I had 2 checks that I wasn't supposed to do. So I'm gonna put them on top, largely because I know those are in my favor. So we're gonna take advantage of that. All right, so we move there, that's no AP check. Okay, now I get to do a free action. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack while I can. So do I wanna attack from here or do I wanna move in and do close combat? I think I wanna attack from here. And so this would be a 6 against a 13 plus 1 is 14. 14 minus 6, ooh, that's 8. I will spend my 1 command point to make it a 7. Let's see what we get. I got a 9. Very well done. All right, so now, I've been drawing from this because this is infantry, but this is actually a hard target, so, oh, back up, back up, back up. I don't get to add +3. This is a 0 +3 against a 14. That means I would have needed an 11, and then with the command point, I would have reduced it to a 10. Oh, you suck. I missed. 0 +3. So basically it's a 4. 14 minus 4 is 10. Yeah, I missed. This mission is, it's lost. There's nothing we're gonna do. So we did an attack and we missed, and there it is. And then they go. They're going to attack. So they get a +3 against soft targets. They're going to be attacking with a 6 against our 13. There's 13 minus 6 is 7. And there it is. There's a 7. So they hit us. And we're panicked. And let's see if they, nope, they don't. So it's our turn, and I'm gonna go ahead and do rally up. Attempt to rally a unit. Oh, I'm supposed to roll both. And I failed. So So now it's their turn, and they're probably gonna, right there, game's over. So mission timer moves up, and the mission ends. So the final score is they won with +1 victory point. And the difference is just losing my units. And then of course that, that armored unit is a pain in the butt. So that's it. That's the Search and Destroy solo mission 1. I think we did a lot of learning here, and I would like to do one more once over through the rules, because I think there's some little itty bitty bits that I may have gotten wrong. You know, just certain situational things. But I feel very confident that I gave a very good overview of how the general gameplay is. Yeah, if anybody has any feedback or anything, please let me know. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this. This was the entire scenario, so I can at least close this out. And then I'm hoping to maybe get a bigger scenario out or try the campaign. And then, of course, maybe get out Comancheria and check that out. But I know people were asking a lot for this one. So I didn't like this the first time I played it. I thought it was a little too... like I felt like, so my largest gripe is it would take me 5 seconds to take my turn, and then it would take me, you know, 10 minutes to do the AI's turn. I think it's because I did a much larger scenario, and when there's a lot of AI units on the board, you have a lot of situations where you're tied, right? Okay, there's 4 AI that could do this action. Now you got to figure out which of the 4 is going to do it. That really does slow you down. And I also am quite confident that I was getting the rule wrong with close combat, or like when you're next to each other like this, you actually get some really nice bonuses to your die roll, and you do start hitting the enemy. It's not I miss, you miss, I miss, you miss. So that whole I miss, you miss thing that I was upset about the last time I played, I think it's because I failed to even understand that if you move in closer like this, you get some really nice bonuses. So that actually helped immensely. I actually enjoyed this much more because of that, even though I lost. I actually think this is pretty slick, the way the AI can be functional. And I think that the AI really, with the exception of the time it moved here, out into the open, I think it actually made a lot of smart decisions. It certainly never, I mean, I lost. But this one decision right here was the only bad one I think it made. And I'm willing to bet that somewhere buried in these rules was probably something that told me I shouldn't have done that. But that's it. Thank you all for watching. Stay awesome. And I'll get these uploaded. And I hope you enjoyed this very quick series. And yeah, I'll get another one going under the same title, just like I always do with the other uploads. So anyways, sorry, I'm a little late and rambling a bit. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.